Hiya! Welcome! So yes, you've guessed it, this is essentially part 6 of my kind of unofficial series that wasn't even supposed to be a series because I didn't think I'd be making more than 1 or 2 videos about it, but filling the gaps in my New Order and related collection. It's mostly vinyl today. Also, there's a record shop that I've never used before online, but they do have premises on a certain iconic street in a certain iconic city. We'll get on to that. Mail opening at the end. We'll get started. Oh, and there's also a CD coming up as well. Yes, there is a New Order related CD that I hadn't already got. But let's get started with some Discogs pickups. And this one is from a seller in Greece, I believe. And it's another Blue Monday 95 12-inch single. So this cost me, with the dreaded taxes and international postage, it wasn't too bad, considering nowhere in this country seems to be selling it. It was just under £40, I think. I did get the other 12-inch in this Blue Monday 95 set a few videos back. I've kind of lost track of what I got when, really. That was a lot easier to get, a lot cheaper, but this one was kind of like part of a 2 12-inch set back in 1995. The tracks on it: track 1 Plutone mix, track 2 Star Wash mix, and track 3 is the original 12-inch version. Quick look at the vinyl here. I'm not sure if I'll be showing you loads of vinyl throughout this video, but I'll certainly show you that. It was easy to get out. So pleased to have got that to complete my Blue Monday 95 collection. I already have these tracks. I mean, the original 12-inch version, I've got that probably so many places. It's kind of ubiquitous, really. But the other two, they're on the Blue Monday 95 bonus CD that's part of a special edition of the Rest of New Order remix album. Let's get this back into this above average protector. I'll probably swap it out for one of my own. Blue Monday 95, the other one.
Does it feel when you treat me like you do, and you've laid your hands upon me and tell me who you are? I thought I was mistaken, and I thought I heard your words. Tell me, how do I feel? Tell me now, how do I feel?
Next up, also from Discogs, but from a UK seller, if memory serves, is a single on 12-inch that I used to own on CD, and I only got it because of the guest vocalist. It's an alright track. Knowing what they did previous and what they would go on to do, I would say it's probably not their greatest thing at all, but it goes in my New Order collection, and it is this single from Sub Sub, This Time I'm Not Wrong. And as you can see, the guest vocals are from Mr. Bernard Sumner. So this came out on Rob's Records, Rob being Rob Gretton, the late great former manager of Joy Division and New Order. Quick look at the disc once again. This has come in an anti-static bag, presumably provided by the seller, which is nice. This is alright, it was never what I would call a brilliant single back when I bought it mainly on impulse on CD, and I don't have the CD single anymore. I unfortunately got rid of that many years ago, but glad that I've got it back in my collection on 12-inch. Sub Sub, of course, they had a top 10 hit probably about 4 or 5 years before this came out. No, a bit longer actually, because it was 93, weren't it? With Ain't No Love, Ain't No Use, with Melanie Williams providing the vocals. And probably not long after this, actually. This was probably one of their last things they released as Sub Sub, and then they changed the name to Doves and became quite a big and important Manchester indie rock band. This is more in the sort of indie rock vein, which I was surprised about because I bought this totally blind, really, or deaf, you should say, back in the day. I was expecting it to be another kind of funky house dance track like Ain't No Love was, and it was just kind of your indie rock of the time, albeit with Bernard Sumner on vocals. I can't really highly recommend it, but hopefully I'll be playing you a clip right now, so let me know what you think.
From the walls of Pharaoh's tomb, ask a prophet if he knows. Will a tragedy explode if I treat you tenderly? Do you think I'm being slow? Tell me if you think I'm lying. Just a word and I'll stop trying. It's a strange love, don't deny it. This kind of love don't last forever. I can see right through you, baby. You're a nuclear bomb. Maybe we'll get lucky, baby. We just can't go wrong.
We continue with 12-inch singles, at least for the time being anyway. The story behind this single is this was actually the first digital track I ever bought on iTunes, and I say bought. This would have been, probably the best part of 20 years ago. I think back then Apple and iTunes, they were giving away codes for free tracks basically on cans of Coke or something like that. One of the tracks, the main track on here I would say, was the one I downloaded. I've still got the digital file today, but I'm so happy that I've got this on 12-inch because it is an absolute dance banger. It is Technotronic featuring Yarkid K, Rocking Over the Beat, but it's the Bernard Sumner Rocking Over Manchester remixes. Fantastic. The track that I downloaded 20 years ago, thanks to the iTunes Coca-Cola, I think it was Coke promotion, was the track that's side A, track 1, Rocking Over the Beat, Rocking Over Manchester Hacienda mix. Bernard Sumner provides production, or at least remixing, on all 3 tracks. Track 2, or track 1 on side B, is Rocking Over Manchester Piccadilly mix, and the 3rd track is the Rocking Over Manchester instrumental mix. I mean, the normal version of this, what would have been heard mainly on the radio, is really good, but Bernard Sumner absolutely improves on it. If you've never heard the Bernard Sumner Technotronic remixes of Rocking Over the Beat, then you're missing out. I do heartily recommend that if you don't buy the 12-inch, then you go on YouTube or whatever streaming service you use and at least listen to the Rocking Over Manchester Hacienda one. The Piccadilly one, I have heard it, it's been some years though. I know I like it, but I don't think I like it quite as much as the Hacienda mix. I'm just so glad to get this into the collection physically. Technotronic, Bernard Sumner remixes of Rocking Over the Beat. Staying with Discogs, but moving on to albums, there was a couple, well more than a couple really, but one of them is the CD, but a couple of compilation albums that I wanted to get, preferably on vinyl. A couple of these are also available on CD and I haven't got the CDs. I may pick them up at a later date from my friend James Nice over at LTM Recordings. For the moment I just wanted the vinyl. I had to go on Discogs because James and LTM didn't have these in stock on vinyl, as they're quite old and deleted compilation LPs. The first one is this one, Cool as Ice, the B Music Productions, and it is what it says on the tin really. B Music was the umbrella term for members of New Order doing production work for other acts, and this is a 2 LP set. I think this was from a UK seller, and it was I can't remember the price of it, to be honest. I think, say it was a double album, it was reasonable though. Condition, bit creased, the sleeve, but I'm not arsed about that. Just quickly show you one of the discs. But there again, it's black vinyl with a relatively subdued centre label, so nothing much to really look at. But there's some absolutely fantastic stuff on here, and I know there is because a lot of this gets repeated on the later New Order Presents B Music compilation. More on that later. But I'm doubling up, kind of tripling up in some cases here with some of these tracks. You can see just a few of the acts who New Order or their members, Bernard Sumner produced either on his own or with Donald Johnson from A Certain Ratio. Peter Hook tended to produce on his own, and then Stephen Gillian would produce remix together. But they're all involved in all the tracks on here, from the likes of 52nd Street, Section 25, Live, Thick Pigeon, Marcel King, Paul Haig. Fantastic stuff. Really happy that I've got that. I might pick up the CD eventually, but really happy to have got the 2LP vinyl for Cool as Ice, the B Music Productions.
What good is your foolish pride with an empty, broken heart? You're looking right, just right, alright. You're looking nice, so nice. Cool as ice, tough as ice. You're looking right, just right, alright. You're looking nice, so nice. Cool as ice, tough as ice. You're looking right, just right, alright.
Another LTM or related label release along with Cool as Ice was another one, and actually this one I did order it on James's website, LTM Recordings, and I ordered it with the CD that I'll show you in a little while. And then he emailed me back fairly quickly saying, oh sorry, we're out of stock on that, and I just sent him a reply saying, okay, give me a refund. I'm not surprised because this album is 10 years old this year. I figured you'd just not updated your website to reflect that this was a long deleted title, but it is. Of Factory New York, I managed to pick up this copy probably for around a similar price as what I would have paid on LTM, to be honest, around £25. A very similar track listing to Cool as Ice, but a bit different in places. It's not just New Order and their productions, although there is a New Order track on here. Side 2, track 2 is a live version from 1989 of Your Silent Face. But also on here, Certain Ratio, Quando Quango, 52nd Street again, who I will have that track multiple times, Cool as Ice now, but it is such an absolute banger, I don't mind. Some stuff on here that I don't already own, like Anna Domino with Summer Arthur Baker remix, for example. There again, this one is a double LP. It's gatefold, really nice. This was originally released, I think, 2014 as a kind of benefit album. In fact, yes, that's exactly what they call it on the back here. A benefit album for Michael Schamberg, featuring classic tracks released by Factory US between 1980 and 1989, as well as factory artists from New York City. It's technically on the Factory Benelux label, which is one of James Nice's LTM subsidiaries now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading all this bump here, the liner notes. I won't show you the vinyl because it's just black again. It's in really nice condition, this as well. Of Factory New York. Right then, moving away from Discogs, but we're back onto singles, at least for the next couple, I think. Both from the same group. Never owned anything by this group before, but they've got certain stuff that's produced by or remixed by, possibly both, one Mr. Bernard Sumner. This one is from Hard to Find Records. That was where I purchased the very expensive £80 electronic Until the End of Time single. I'm pleased to say that this one was nowhere near that much. This was about £5.99, I think. And it's Shack Up by A Certain Ratio. So this is the original Creation Records 12-inch that came out, I think, 1994. And the reason I wanted this is that the title track, Shack Up, which was originally a cover that A Certain Ratio did in the early 80s, I think, or possibly even late 70s, and then it was re-recorded, remixed in the 90s. But the remixes are done by Electronic, so by Bernard Sumner and Johnny Marr. So this is, you know, an electronic collaboration for all intents and purposes. Bit of a look at the vinyl there. The tracks on it, a little bit hard for me to read, but on side 8, Shack Up Wipeout Mix and Shack Up Radio Edit, both electronic mixes. And side B, Shack Up Work Mix, another electronic mix. And then track 2, Life's a Scream, Shaven Not Stirred mix, which I don't think has anything to do with Sumner and Marr. I love that cover as well, isn't that sweet? The back's just as sweet as well. I don't know, something about that makes me smile. Shack Up by A Certain Ratio, the electronic mixes. And we stick with A Certain Ratio, but we go down to 7-inch and we go across to Vinyl Tap, a great website and record store in Huddersfield. And this is one that I've been threatening to get for a long time. I didn't really mind whether I got the 7-inch or the 12-inch. Ended up getting the 7-inch as that was what was in stock at Vinyl Tap at the time, and I believe I bought some other stuff from there, which I've already shown in previous videos. But this one is Won't Stop Loving You, and yes, this is a Bernard Sumner production or remix. Yeah, remix by Bernard Sumner. Original production is by Julian Mendelssohn. Won't Stop Loving You is essentially a remake, a re-recording of a single from their previous album, which was called The Big E, the single that is, but they renamed this mix Won't Stop Loving You, but confusingly The Big E, what would be the original album version or the original single edit, is on side B of this. And I think there's a few different versions of this single as well that all look very, very similar, almost identical, but you have to sort of differentiate with the catalogue number. There we go. Really good song this. There again, I can't speak highly enough of Barney's production. You know, he just really got that kind of electro sound in the 80s that was kind of moving over to house and Manchester and all that sort of sound towards the turn of the 90s. Hopefully be able to play a clip of this in a moment to show you how good it is. But yeah, really happy that I've got this. The 12-inch version, by the way, actually is credited as a joint production between Bernard Sumner and Norman Cook. Yes, that's Norman Cook, aka Fatboy Slim. It'll differ from this in the fact that it's longer, whether it's just an extended version of this and they've not credited Norman Cook on the 7-inch, I don't really know. I got it because it's Bernard Sumner, so it's for the New Order collection. Won't Stop Loving You, ACR.
It will come to you. I know you try, but don't try too hard. When I see you cry, it breaks my heart. I won't stop loving you. I still believe in you. When everything goes wrong, you think you're on your own. I won't stop loving you. I won't stop loving you.
On to today's CD, and this one is from James Nice and LTM Recordings. I ordered this along with the Factory New York album, but as I stated earlier on, that was out of stock, long deleted, the website hadn't been updated, but I still ended up getting this one, and it is the follow-up to Cool as Ice, which you saw earlier, Twice as Nice. Now sadly this hasn't come out on vinyl, because otherwise I would have aimed to have got that, assuming it wasn't massively expensive, but it's all a moot point anyway, because this never came out on vinyl. Bit of a shame, because everything else in this kind of LTM B music series is out on vinyl, so this kind of stands alone really. Still got some great tracks on here, and some that I've not heard, some that aren't repeated on the follow-up compilation, New Order Presents B Music. It's still in its wrapping. I'm not going to get this open. A few of the acts who are on here, 52nd Street again, but it's not Cool as Ice this time. It's a track called Express. Quando Quango, Marcel King features on this again. Shark Vegas, Section 25. Oh, there is another version of Cool as Ice at the end, but it's the Jelly Bean mix, which I'm not sure I own that yet, unless it probably features elsewhere. It's hard to keep track. But yeah, Twice as Nice, the kind of volume 2 of the Cool as Ice / B Music series. On now to 2 purchases from a website I'd not used before. Bricks and Mortar Record Store. They're on Oldham Street in Manchester. That's a very iconic street for anyone in the know. And it's Vinyl Exchange. I think they've been there quite some years, in the centre of Manchester, in the heart of it all really. And if you can't pick up any New Order and related stuff from somewhere like that, then it is a poor do. And I managed to pick up 2 things. This first item was the big ticket one for me, but it is one I already own. It is the New Order Presents B Music compilation that I've been talking about. Now, I've had this on CD for many years. I bought it from LTM many years ago. Didn't really think about getting it on vinyl as well, even long after I got back into vinyl, only until recently, when I was doubling up and filling gaps in the NO collection. This features less than the CD, so I would recommend the CD set, which is, I think it's 2 CDs, but there's way more tracks on it, as opposed to this vinyl version. But when I saw that this was for sale and they were classing it as, I think, near mint, still got its original hype there. You can see they have separated the vinyl out. It's a 2 album set. A lot of repetition once again, from stuff like Cool as Ice, Twice as Nice, but I don't care. One of my very favourite compilations in my entire music collection, this, so to double up and get the kind of truncated version on vinyl, I'm very happy. I'm not going to get this open and unsealed, just to keep this video moving along nicely. So that is New Order Presents B Music. However, we can go back to a 12-inch single now. This one was a little bit more of an impulsive purchase, but what with all the Barney related production and remixes that I've got, I felt, although he does feature heavily on all the B Music albums that I've shown you, I felt that some of Peter Hook's production was perhaps a bit underrepresented in some of these videos. So I kind of had a look to see what factory artists and what New Order / B Music related artists were at Vinyl Exchange, and I came across this 12-inch single from Stockholm Monsters, Party Line. Once again, the vinyl has been separated out. It's an original release, this, from I think 1987. It might have been their final single actually before they split up, but it's a good single, this. I don't think this one features, I'm saying that and it probably does, Stockholm Monsters do feature on at least one of those albums that I've shown you previous, but I'm not sure it's this track, Party Line, but it's a really good track, this. The price for B Music, that was about £30. This was around a tenner, give or take a quid or so. Just thought I'd add this to the collection as it's a good hooky production. Party Line, Stockholm Monsters.
See their faces, that's the way they get inside. Working for the party line. I know that's the way they try to be. Just sit down and listen to me. Why is it you do this? I just cannot make my mind up, waiting for your promises. Just sit down and listen to me. Why is it you do this for? I just cannot take your time up, waiting for your promises.
Alright, now to finish off with this mail opening here from my friend John Esplin at Vinyl on the Net. I've used him quite a few times now, and I'm just realising I didn't get my knife, so I'm going to try and open it with a pen instead. But if I struggle and then there's a funny pause in the video, it's because I've had to go and get my knife. I'm not going to show you everything in here though, because there's only one thing in here, and I think I bought 4 records from him, but there's only one that's relating to New Order. The other 3 records, of course, I'll show you in the next records roundup, which should be along in about a week maybe. Getting this fragile tape scored at the sides. Oh, I think we're about in. Amazingly enough, Sam just using an old biro rather than a proper sharp knife. Perhaps not quite as effectively opened as normally it would be with the proper utensils, but we're about in, I think. Alright, so I don't want to show you most of what's in here, so I need to just slide that away off camera. Chuck that over there. Just having a look at the other stuff that I'll be showing you in the next records roundup. Yeah, brilliant. So the final record to show you today is an album. It's from an artist who I know is featured on the B Music series at least once, probably more. And it is Paul Haig with his album The Warp of Pure Fun. So Paul Haig, I think he's a Scottish musician, vocalist. He was in a band called Joseph K, who were kind of like a post-punk act from Scotland back in the late 70s, turn of the 80s. He went solo. He went on Le Disque de Crépuscule label, which is associated heavily with Factory Records. This is an original issue, I believe. It's come with its original inner. The record label actually says Operation Afterglow. That might be a licensed from Crepuscule label, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. Don't know if you can see, but the reason I wanted this on 2 tracks on here, and one of them is a brilliant track that I've heard many times because I've got it on the B Music compilation. But 2 tracks I think here feature and are produced by Bernard Sumner, and of course his frequent production partner at the time, Donald Johnson. So really nice condition this, to say it's an original pressing from, I can't remember the date, I want to say around 84. Really pleased with that. Doesn't really matter if it's not a Crepuscule release, it could be the UK pressing, or it could be the US, I'm not sure, I'll know when I look it up and add it to my Discogs database. But yeah, delighted to have got this. The Warp of Pure Fun, featuring the fantastic song The Only Truth by Mr. Paul Haig.
You never thought I'd make it. One more night again, start up. Push up, reason time again, start up. The only truth anymore are the words I sing in a song.
And there we go, another New Order and related video done and dusted. I said before I wasn't going to go on about whether there'd be another part, and I'm still not going to say, because I don't want to contradict myself as I have done throughout this unofficial series. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Another look at my New Order collection getting added to, with actually a bit of New Order themselves this time round, rather than related and production stuff, although there's a lot of that with the B Music and LTM compilations, of course. But special thanks go, as always, to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now. Lots to listen to. Can't wait to get stuck into all that. I know there's some stuff there that I've not heard before. There's other stuff that I've heard plenty of times, that I already own numerous times and that I love. I'm just going to enjoy it all. Hope that you'll check out some of these artists and remixes and stuff as well yourself. Let me know in the comments if you do. And please will you join me again next time for my next New Order related video and music collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!